Time for another stop on Bar Songs and Stories. Today, Nate and I head to the Eagles Hideout in Fort Dodge, Iowa. And joining us for music and conversation is someone who leads with his heart through everything, the founder of Broken Strings and a beloved musician from the state. It's Scott Kirkhart on Bar Songs and Stories.
Welcome to Bar Songs and Stories. Today, we travel to Fort Dodge, Iowa. We're at the Eagles Hideout today, and we bring along the founder of Broken Strings, a very fun musician with plenty of stories to tell, Mr. Scott Kirkhart. Scott, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I am so excited to get you on the show today. I've known you for a few years now, which is weird to say.
Quite a few, actually, yeah.
One of the first musicians that I got to know when I got into the broadcasting business, which I'm very grateful for. You've always been so welcoming to me in my career and down to do whatever I've wanted to do, so thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. I'm always willing to do whatever.
So talk to us about yourself and how you got in the music business and all the good stuff from the beginning.
Where do you want to start? Let's see. I was born in 1976. No, I was a drummer in high school, three-time state jazz band drummer. I went to college and played drums, and then one day I just decided I'm done with music, and I was just done. I didn't want to play drums anymore, and I quit. And I raised my babies and you know, met my wife and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden 9/11 happened, right? And I had a buddy that was stuck in Florida, and he says, "Hey, when I get back, let's learn how to play guitar." And something that I kind of always wanted to do, right? So I said, "Yeah, sure." So I picked up the guitar. When he got back, we went to the old Fort Dodge Music Center over here, and bought an Ibanez guitar, and the story is history. I'm not sure exactly when the part was that I became a fluent guitar player by any means. You know, it kind of happened over the years when the kids were younger, and that's when I played guitar to them. And here I am. If you would have told me 25 years later that I'd be a full-time musician, I would have told you were crazy.
Do you remember your first show playing guitar?
I do. I was with a band first called Sweet and Lowdown. Nerves, but I had a band behind me, you know, and I didn't sing at all. I just played guitar. Yeah, nope. I just played guitar, and it was fun. We had a good time. Just a local band, and then after we kind of broke up, I didn't want to be finished, and I was with my a good friend Chris Carr, and I would go out and play some shows with him or join him in a couple sets. And he flat out looked at me. He says, "Man, you're going to book a solo gig. And if you don't book a solo gig, I'm going to book one for you." And so I kind of got forced into it. And I've been doing it ever since.
Sounds like it took a good friend to kind of get that first start.
It just took somebody a lot better at guitar and being an entertainer than I was to push me to do that.
Sure. This Fort Dodge scene is huge. And the surrounding area for music, you have plenty of friends in it. Talk to us about some of the guys that you jam with and some of the guys that also have put influence in your career today.
Well, any third Thursday during the wintertime, you come up here. Yeah, you know, they have third Thursday jam night, and you come up here, and I have played in Nashville and the Gulf of Mexico, you know, Tampa, St. Petersburg area, and I've played with a lot of people, and Fort Dodge area has some of the elite musicians, and I would even venture to say probably in the country. I mean, you know, you got Jeremy Ober, who's an icon around here, to Corey Waller and the Wicked Things and Ron Lee King. I mean, look at the star-studded band they have together.
Yeah.
To Jesse Wilson, to Clint Riedel and the Wicked Things. You know, that's Iowa's John Prine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, to Chris Carr. And I was raised up by the older generation of musicians, you know, like Gene Walker and from the old ski band. And I played with Trent Salter, you know. Trent Salter, Tim Salter, he's the founder of Premier Guitar Magazine. You know, that's one of the world's largest guitar magazine out right now, from right here in Fort Dodge, Iowa.
And all the artists you bring up are across so many different genres too.
Yeah.
Why do you suppose that is?
Oh, I think we're just all if we were all the same genre, we would, it'd be pretty boring to listen to all the same music. I mean, it's just where we grew up at. How we grew up, I like a lot of the old singer-songwriter stuff like Chris Carr does. Chris Carr is excellent at it.
So, so we have 4 songs that you're going to be playing for us today at the Eagles Hideout. The first one is titled Whiskey Over My Heart.
Okay.
And it's not released yet.
Well, I haven't. It is released.
Oh, it is released.
It is released, but Cody, my good buddy Cody Hicks released it.
I see.
We wrote that one. I'll tell you the story. The one cold February night in 1027 Studios at 1027 Central Avenue, me and my good buddies Jesse Wilson and Cody Hicks were standing on a second-story balcony smoking cigarettes, and we wanted to write a country song a little more us. And I had the guitar riff, and I had part of a song written already that it was going to be like a Sunday Fun Day type song, and it ended up coming out Pouring Whiskey Over My Heart. And Cody took it down to Saxman Studios in Nashville, Tennessee, and recorded it. And it's his title track on his brand new album that he's got out. So it's one of my favorite songs that we've ever written, any of us together. And it just kind of poured out of us that night. It's crazy when you get friends together and an acoustic guitar, and we just started talking about life in general.
Yeah.
And that's what came out. So
that's where you get the most of your material, when you're with friends.
Yeah. Well, I'm an observer. I listen to a lot of things. I try not to talk too much. That's weird.
Yeah.
But I listen to a lot of people, and, a lot of people say a lot of cool things sometimes. And, like Moonshine and Mason Jars is one of my other songs. That was on a koozie. We go together like Moonshine and Mason Jars. Pouring Whiskey Over My Heart. Everybody's kind of done that before when they go through a breakup or something like that. Or when they go through a breakup and everybody else is, they're feeling sorry for themselves, and they kind of get over the, oh, woe is me. Where do they go? They always end up back at a bar again.
Sure.
Right. So, that's kind of where that song is all derived from, and that's, it's a fun song. It's very well written, and the recording, Jesse did the recording of it. And it turned out amazing in Nashville. I'm probably going to release it, on an upcoming EP, I think.
Okay.
So
stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
And you're everywhere streaming, and you have your own website as well.
Yeah.
Social media.
Everything.
Awesome.
Everything's got Kirkhart Music or KirkhartMusic.com, and then it's got links to everything too.
Well, here we go. Whiskey Over My Heart.
Woke up on the floor, head pounding Sunday morning with an empty bottle of Jack. I stumbled through the house in a haze. I was trying to figure out where I was at. Don't know what I did, but with all these messages, she ain't ever coming back. Can't take all this pain, so I just shut off my brain with a brand new 12-pack. If you're gonna leave me, when I leave me a bottle of Jack. If you don't need me, then I don't need you to ever come back. If you wanna see me, and I'll be sitting at the end of the bar, filling up my soul, pouring whiskey over my heart. Bartender, leave the bottle, I'ma sit here and drink till it don't burn anymore. I'm sure you've heard the same old story 1,000 times before. This was the first time, well, she finally made up her mind, walked right out the door. You better believe in the feeling's just right. This is what I'm gonna tell her. If you're gonna leave jack. If you don't need me, then I don't need you to ever come back. If you want to see me, and I'll be sitting at the end of the bar, filling up my soul, pouring whiskey over my heart. That's exactly what I'll be doing. When I pour me something strong. Pour me one for everything I done wrong. If you want to leave me a bottle of Jack. If you don't need me, then I need you to kiss my ass. If you want to see me, and I'll be sitting at the end of the bar, filling up my soul, pouring whiskey over my, filling up my soul, pouring whiskey over my, filling up my soul, pouring whiskey over my heart. That's exactly what I've been doing. There you go.
Scott, I can tell you're a huge music fan by the local musicians you support and also the time you spend in with Broken Strings. Now, you're also the founder of Broken Strings. Talk to us about that. What's the beginning of that? How did Broken Strings start, actually?
Well, it was 2021. It actually started with like Tracy Ernst and myself and a couple other musicians wanted to just raise money to buy some gear, for the Fort Dodge kids and some of the Fort Dodge schools. I mean, it was an idea. Everything is an idea. Everything, the good Lord, I always say, always puts ideas in your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you whether you follow through with them or not is your choice. But and it was kind of that way. I'm like, man, imagine giving a kid in every school district a guitar. And I talked to my buddy Tracy, and Tracy's like, that's a great idea. And unfortunately, Tracy had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and passed away from it. And then after he passed away, I said that we're gonna keep doing this. And so I wanted it to be a 501c3, nonprofit and a charitable donation. So we went through all that rigmarole to try to get that all done. And we got that all done. And then we had to raise, I worked for FedEx for 20 years, and I started with my income tax return. And that's what it became how it became a 501c3. And then we had to raise money, of course, on top of that. And I had enough friends and had people that backed me and did it. And then we started giving guitars away, and we needed a little more money, and
Yeah.
And now 4 years later, we've given almost 100 guitars away.
It's incredible.
We're in partnership with the Nick Nurse Foundation, with the Joey Jordanson Charitable Fund and the Joey Jordanson family. We're in partnership with them guys. We're hoping to start giving away guitars and drums this fall now with the help of them guys in honor of Joey Jordanson. And it's just, it's built to something way bigger than I would have ever thought that possible.
What does it mean to you when other musicians support Broken Strings?
Oh, it's an honor, first of all. And, it's a passion. It's our job as older musicians to raise the next generation of kind of like, like we had for us. We had the older crew trying to raise us up and help us. We had to lift speakers and wrap chords and do all that kind of stuff. And,
Yeah.
And now it's their turn. And we're going to bring them up. And someday they're going to probably be doing the same thing as us. So it's an honor of a lifetime. Like I said, it's beyond me. This isn't something, yeah, I'm the founder, but it isn't mine. It's everybody's,
And there's so many ways to support Broken Strings. You guys have a website, brokenstrings.org, but also social media on Facebook. You guys are active on there. And you always post the pictures with the kids, or oftentimes do, getting their guitars, which I love those photos.
Yep. We're going to start posting. We're getting some video now of kids playing.
Oh, sweet.
Which is really, really cool. So now it's like, oh, look what they're doing, And so that's that's amazing to watch that too.
Do you ever have time to rest? Seems like you're doing something all the time.
Well, I don't know. I guess if we sit still, we kind of wither away, right? I don't want to sit still by any means.
Sure.
No, I like to go. I like to be involved. I like to do stuff. It's kind of always what I've been done. Sure, here it is. 4 years later, we're still rolling, right? We're going to keep going. We're looking to give away a lot of guitars this year.
Already 4 years in, probably getting closer and closer to someone actually being their own solo artist and maybe even joining you for a tour around Iowa, right?
I would absolutely love this. There's a young man by the name of Cullen. He's 12 years old, and his mom brought him up and let him play. I let him play with me and amigos who were such. And man, the kid got a standing ovation. I mean, he was so fun to watch, and you could see his confidence build as every song he's played a little bit more and more and more. And that's so fun watching those kids do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Scott, we have more songs that we're going to play, that you're going to play for us today on the program. The next one we're going to be playing, Misery Loves Company. Talk to us about this track.
Well, Misery Loves Company was it was a song that I was setting out in my garage one day or one morning. I couldn't sleep very well, and I had my coffee, and I just picked up my guitar. You know, I'm not a politic person at all, but I'm tired of everybody fighting all the damn time. Yeah. You know, and you watch one news station, they tell you this, you watch someone else, they tell you that, you know, and you never really know what's going on. And I'm so sick of it all. And so I wrote this song, Misery Loves Company, because it always seems that misery always loves company, right? So here it is.
Well, we've been up, we've been down. If there's one thing that I've learned, this whole world keeps spinning round. So many people all seem to disagree. Who really knows who's right, whether it's you or if it's me? Who's right or wrong? This is my song. None of it makes sense to me. Lord, lift us up. Misery loves company. Oh, yeah, it does. So many opinions, so much hate, so much division, not enough space. They tell you this, and they tell you that. They tell you who to love and who the hell you can. Was right or wrong, this is my song. None of it makes sense to me. Lord, lift us up. Misery loves company. Ooh, yeah. Well, they take your guns and they take your land. They try to take your money from the palm of your hand. You gotta do this and you gotta do that. None of it makes sense to me. Lord, lift us up. Misery loves company. Well, who's right or wrong? This is my song. None of it makes sense to me. Lord, lift us up. Misery loves company. Yeah.
And we have two more songs to go with Scott Kirkhart joining us for Bar Songs and Stories. We are at Eagles Hideout in Fort Dodge, Iowa, one of the sweetest venues in the state. I'm so happy that Gina ended up getting the ownership for this and getting this all going again. You mentioned third Thursdays every single month throughout the summer. I love this place. It's awesome. And this cool backdrop too. Plenty of cool art. So shout out to the whole crew for putting this together. And getting Eagles Hideout running again.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool venue, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's old.
Yeah,
It's historic, right?
but I like that.
Me too.
So memories.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Lots of memories.
Yeah.
There was some big old jam nights that were here at one time. And now they're coming back on the third Thursday jam nights. And that's so fun to be part of.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you can find them online and on Facebook as well. Eagles Hideout. And then just upstairs, Eagles Ballroom as well.
Yep. Correct. Eagles Ballroom's upstairs. Yep.
That's right downtown in Fort Dodge. So Scott, let's talk some more about your songwriting. You gave us a little bit of a hint about where you go to oftentimes or with friends, or maybe it seems like you may have a drink or two after a songwriting session. Do you have favorite songwriters?
Oh yeah. We opened up for a guy in Nashville one year. His name was Jonathan Singleton. And I didn't even know who he was. You know, we did a writer's round at the Commodore Grill, and he was the headliner that night. And he's wrote like 40 number one hits, right? And I was like, holy cow, what? You know, and he wrote like Diamond Rings and Old Bar Stools from Tim McGraw, and he's written Watching Airplanes, you know, and just some of his songs. And then one of my favorite songwriters, like completely around here, one of my favorite songwriters is probably, there's so many of them. Jeremy Over's a genius when it comes to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's excellent, you know, and Clint Riedel he likes to tell stories. Everybody's got their own ways to do it, you know, and Jesse's good. And Cody Hicks is one of my great friends, one of my brothers, right? You know, and I love his spin and his country spin that he puts on some of these songs. And
yeah. So let's talk about that too. You have been involved with Manson's Crash My Crater for a long time, and the other big events that happen around Fort Dodge or even down in Des Moines, and you've been able to open for bigger acts that you'd find in Nashville, and you've been able to befriend some. Cody Hicks, you brought him up earlier as well. Talk to us about being able to perform at events like that, and also meeting some of the guys that maybe are marquee names in Nashville and such.
Yeah, I don't know if I can even list everybody that I've opened for. I had a chance to open up for Hardy. Unfortunately, I didn't make that one.
Oh,
I was in the hospital at that point in time, but that was 2 years ago. But his crew sent an email to my email and said, "Hey, was sorry to hear about your accident you got into and whatnot." And, you know, they didn't have to do any of that, and that was pretty cool.
that's so sweet. Yeah, I know Hardy was in the news recently from Iowa. He ended up inviting a server backstage at a show. Did you do that? Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Seems like a great guy.
He is. You know, most of those people like that, and everybody that I've encountered in the country scene treats each other like brothers and sisters. I mean, you know, whether it's I've opened up for Lainey Wilson, for crying out loud, in Storm Lake, Iowa, and she got paid $500, you know, and now look at her.
It's crazy.
I mean, now she's winning Entertainer of the Year, and that was 5 years ago, you know. So yeah, it takes one song normally. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of go, a lot of beat in the streets. My buddy Chili Dog in Nashville, that guy's been playing Broadway for a lot of years.
Chili Dog.
Yeah, Chili Dog's his name. Yeah, Michael Castleberry. And we met him on a whim too. Like we were friends on Snapchat, and we bumped into him outside of Broadway on the street. He's like, "Don't I know you guys from somewhere?" And the next thing you know, we're partying with him all night long and playing guitar. The next day he's like, "Hey, I got a gig up at Tin Roof. You guys want to roll with me?" And we're like, "Yeah, let's do it." So it's just, I've been blessed to be and meet people, be in the right places and to meet people. You know, I've been doing this full-time solo gig now for about going on 11 years.
Wow.
So it's, it's been a hell of a ride so far. I hope it keeps going. You know, you never know. You know, when the COVID could shut us down or something like that again, then what do we do? But
Sure.
I don't think it will. But
That'd be a bummer. Hope not.
oh,
Knock on wood, right?
the music scene right now is booming, and especially in Iowa. And with the emergence of the country music Midwest Country Music Organization.
Yeah.
And all of the networking that goes on in there. I mean, look at some of the musicians in there. Not only just from around, but like, Brad Morgan, you got Joe Flip, you got out of Minneapolis, and all those guys. They're great and they're fun. They're good people.
And that's the full Midwest.
Yeah.
Scott, I love your songwriting. In particular, I love how vulnerable you can be in your songwriting. You have a song that you're going to play for us in a moment titled Bad Decisions. Vulnerable songwriting, is that something that you think is easy for you, or do you think that's something that you've kind of always tried to do in your songwriting, or?
I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer to that. That old TikTok where you're like, people ask you how you're doing it, man. You're kind of like, I don't know, man. I'm just doing it, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. I get an idea in my head or something like that, and then we kind of go with it. Or a lot of times if it's a group, right, we'll just start talking, Bad Decisions came about that we were talking about. There was another one written with Jesse and Cody. And we were talking about growing up, we weren't scared of law enforcement growing up, man. We were scared of our fathers, right? I mean, there was no doubt about it. We screwed up. Our fathers were going to kill us.
Yeah.
And that's what we thought. I mean, and then we talked about making bad decisions in our life and things that we've done and out pops a song. It's weird how it works sometimes. And then other times, yeah, you can put raw emotion into it. This is life. This is our life experiences, but it's not just our life experiences either. It's everybody else's life experiences too. And I think that's what kind of connects with the listener.
When I was a young man, couldn't make my daddy proud. So I learned how to drink and how to get loud. Raised hell just like him, but I was never enough. He'd always complain that I screwed something up. And I ain't surprised that I turned out like it. When that's what you're taught, that's what you get. When you dance with the devil, you never can win. I drank more than I should drink, smoked my mind silly, used my nose to speed up my brain. Poured fuel on the bridge and I flicked my cigarette, and I watched it all go up in flames. Swallowed pills that weren't mine, slept around on my wife. If it all went to hell, hell I did it. I've always been real damn good making bad decisions. And I go from life of the party to looking to fight. After a bottle of Beam, it's always Jekyll and Hyde. Been on top of the world and I've had everything. Just like you taught me, hell, I pissed it away. I tried and I tried, but no matter what I did, I was always bound to end up just like him I was. I drank more than I should drink, smoked my mind silly, used my nose to speed up my brain. Poured fuel on the bridge and I flicked my cigarette, and I watched it all go up in flames. Swallowed pills that weren't mine, slept around on my wife. If it all went to hell, hell, I did it. I've always been real damn good making bad decisions. And I ain't surprised that I turned out like it. When that's what you're taught, that's what you get. When you dance with the devil, you never can win. And I drank more than I should drink, smoked my mind silly, used my nose to speed up my brain. Poured fuel on the bridge cigarette, and I watched it all go up in flames. Swallowed pills that were mine, slept around on my wife. If it all went to hell, I did it. I've always been real damn good. I've always been real damn good. I've always been real damn good. Making bad decisions.
Scott, we have you just for one more song today. And we've been talking about your songwriting and the vulnerable side that you're able to express through your music. And before we talk about the final song here, I also want to know, do you have a favorite part of the songwriting process? Do you like finding the middle, the end, like the beginning hook, or?
Probably more like the hook, and you find that hook and then you kind of write around that. And I don't really have, some people say they write a hook first, or there's really no specific way to write.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come up with a cool guitar riff and then write from there, or just have a subject in my head and then kind of write. I don't really have a specific way. When at the end of a song and all of a sudden you end it and you're like, oh, that's it. That's it. That's the song right there. That's kind of the most rewarding part of it. Like, oh, and then you go into, before we make these songs into a big giant musical opus that we do, and we Nashville it up or jazz it up or whatever you want to call it. There's something about stripped down version of an acoustic guitar and the single person that's writing that. And that's my favorite part.
Is it more intimate, do you think, that it's maybe just one person?
More personal, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you can write a song more personal, any personal song, an intimate song. And it's more intimate and personal when it's just that guy and a guitar, an old acoustic guitar, and singing and telling the story, right? But there's just something about that up close and personal moment.
The latest Tyler Childers album just released. At the point of this recording, it was not too long ago, or just a few days ago, matter of fact.
Yep.
And I see that same comparison is they say, I prefer the Tyler Childers songs where it's just stripped down, him and his guitar, just in his bedroom or whatever, compared to the full band with all these different instruments working together.
I like the singer-songwriter, like the old singer-songwriter from the 60s and the 70s. That's kind of coming back.
Yeah.
Which is really cool to me, I think. I liked it too. Don't get me wrong. There ain't nothing like a good full band behind it and smoke and lights, and
the grand stage.
Yeah, at the big stage, but there's some, look at Lee Brice went out on tour as well, just him and his guitar, and sold out theaters.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool show, and to me, that's kind of what I'm going for.
Yeah, it's all you need sometimes.
Yeah.
So again, you got one more song you're going to play for us today.
Yep.
It's about a friend, but you were talking to us off air that maybe you didn't start to write it about this particular friend, but it just kind of, or how did it work?
Oh, I wrote the song about, I didn't, quite honestly, I don't remember writing the song. My buddy Buck passed away in a farming accident a couple years ago on March 15th. And it just kind of struck everybody in I'm from a little small town of 1,600 people, and he knew everybody. It was just one of those things. And I had a lot of personal times with Buck, and he was a dear friend of mine. And, we went to Jimmy Buffett concerts, and 14 of them to be exact. And we did all kinds we went to Hawkeye games, and he made it to my kids' birthday parties as the kids were growing up over the years, and made it to their graduations and did all that stuff. And he was just somebody close. If I had a problem, to talk about, Buck was always the guy to talk to. And he was that guy. And his favorite drink of choice was Canadian LTD, cheap whiskey, and we always called him La Tidas. And there was one night I was sitting in the garage one night after he passed away, and I was drinking a few La Tidas, and I picked up my guitar, and I'm glad I hit record on my phone, because I don't know if this song would be around if it wasn't. But About 2 weeks later, I was like, oh, yeah. And I decided to record it and brought it down to Forte Studios and recorded it. And I wanted it just exactly that way. I wanted it singer-songwriter, because I was thinking to myself when I recorded this, sitting around a campfire, which is what we did, and my buddy Buck looking at me and saying, that's the way you got to do it, just like that, So that's why we recorded it the way that we did. And Old Friend came out. I miss him every day.
Yeah. And we'll let you play that to close today's program. And before you do, I'd like to say thank you for joining us today, Scott. You're a favorite of mine and a favorite of many I know. And it was a pleasure to have you on the show.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, old friend, got my windows down, and I'm on your gravel road that leads me east of town. Hey, old friend, could I pick you up? We could drive around and drink some beers and smoke that funny stuff. There's so much I gotta tell you, there's so much to talk about, but you're not here with me right now. God had a bigger plan out, and I just don't understand why it takes the good ones first. All I know, we took an angel here on earth. You did. Hey, old friend, where did you go? I know you're in a better place with them streets all paved in gold. Hey, old friend, I sure the hell miss you, but I'll do my best to make you proud, and that's all that I can do. There's so much I gotta tell you, there's so much to talk about, but you're not here with me right now. God had a bigger plan out, and I just don't understand why it takes the good ones first. All I know, we took an angel here on earth. You did. This one's for anybody you ever lost in your life. This one's for them. There's so much I gotta tell you, there's so much to talk about, but you're not here with me right now. God had a bigger plan out, and I just don't understand why it takes the good ones first. All I know, we took an angel here on earth, and all I know, we took an angel here on earth.
Thank you for checking out another episode from us at Bar Songs and Stories. Thank you for Scott Kirkhart for being our guest today. Be sure to find Scott Kirkhart wherever you find your music streaming-wise, with tons of different videos he has on YouTube as well. He's also all over social media on Facebook and Instagram. Follow Broken Strings as well. Their website is listed as broken-strings.org, and they also have a Facebook page. And also, this episode has been brought to you in part by Crave Tattoo and the Eagles Hideout in Fort Dodge. Gina and the team are huge supporters of live and regional music, especially from the central Iowa area, hosting all sorts of different events, including the Third Thursday Jam Nights, all sorts of different concerts in the Hideout and the Ballroom. And they also have their Facebook pages online at Crave Tattoo, the Eagles Hideout Lounge, and the Eagles Ballroom. Without them, none of this could be possible. So I urge you to follow them and show them all the support you can. If you have interest in sponsoring an upcoming episode or being maybe the place on our next stop, or would like to submit your music, do so by sending us an email at barsongsandstories@gmail.com. And don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and follow us on all streaming platforms and social media services at the same handle, Bar Songs and Stories.